All right, let's jump right in. The goal of this explainer is to give you a real, practical plan to save $100,000, even if you're not making a huge salary. We're gonna skip all that typical restrictive advice and actually build a system that works for you, using automation and focusing on a few key moves.
Come on, you've heard this a million times, right? It's that classic piece of advice. The secret to wealth is just skipping your daily latte. It's so frustrating, it's demoralizing, and you know what?
It's a complete lie. Cutting out lattes is not going to make you rich. So today, we are going to just burn that toxic advice to the ground and build a real system that lets you live your life and crush your savings goals.
To really see why that old advice just fails so spectacularly, you have to understand the mindset behind it. See, most of us are taught to play financial defense, but it's time to learn how to go on offense. The difference here is all about your mindset. Playing defense, well, that's about scarcity. It's about agonizing over every tiny little purchase. It's a game of constant restriction and anxiety. But going on offense, that's about abundance. You automate your savings, you automate your investments, and then you focus on the big questions, like how to earn more money. And this is the real cost of that defensive mindset. Let's say you save $50 a month for 30 years without investing it. You end up with about $31,000. And you spent all that time feeling anxious about money every single day. You play small, you get small results. Now, what if we flipped the script? Same person, but this time they go on offense. They automate investing $200 a month and they get just one $5,000 raise over their career. 30 years later, over $230,000. That is the power of focusing on big wins. Okay, so before we build our system, we need to clear out all the noise. Let's just quickly dismantle 3 of the biggest myths out there that are probably sabotaging your financial life right now. Yep, we started with this one for a reason. It's the absolute most common. And it's so damaging because it makes you obsess over these tiny, insignificant expenses and totally distracts you from what actually moves the needle. Here's the deal. Stop asking yourself $5 questions and start asking $30,000 questions. Your energy is finite, right? So use it to figure out how to get a raise, not to agonize over a cup of coffee. Ah, the classic. Everyone has heard this one, and it's always presented like it's some absolute truth. Well, it's not. The reality is, buying a home can be a terrible financial decision if you're not ready for it. Renting gives you flexibility, and it can actually be way smarter. Neither one is inherently good or bad. You just have to run the numbers for your own situation.
And then there's this idea that the answer to all your money problems is just more tracking, more restriction. It's basically financial punishment disguised as a solution.
I mean, think about it. When has a strict budget ever worked for you long term? They usually just make you feel guilty. So instead, we're going to use something called a conscious spending plan to look forward and decide exactly where you want your money to go, completely guilt-free. Okay, enough myth-busting. Let's build the foundation. We're going to create a system that saves and invests for you automatically. This has nothing to do with discipline. It's about setting up a system one time so it works for you forever. This flowchart is your roadmap. The whole goal here is to make your money move automatically without you even thinking about it. You'll set up different accounts for different goals, a high-yield savings for emergencies, and investment accounts like a 401k and a Roth IRA for long-term growth. But the absolute crucial step is number 5. Automate all the transfers. Money for your future gets saved before you can even touch it. So once your system is automated and humming along in the background, it's time to accelerate. You don't need 10 different strategies. You just need one big win. A single high-impact move can be worth more than a lifetime of cutting lattes. So here are 3 incredibly powerful options. Just pick one, seriously. Negotiate a single $5,000 raise, or start a side income that brings in an extra $500 a month, or simply increase how much you invest by just 1% each year. Any one of these can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over your career. All right, this is the tool that's going to replace that awful budget. The conscious spending plan is how you proactively tell your money where to go so you can hit your goals and live a life you actually love. It's really simple. Your money gets split into 4 main buckets: fixed costs, investments, savings, and, this is the magic part, guilt-free spending. Once your future is taken care of with savings and investments, the rest is for you to spend on absolutely anything you love, without an ounce of shame. Let's make this totally real. Hitting 100 grand isn't magic, it's just math. Look at the difference here between investing your money versus just saving it in cash. To get to 100K in 10 years, you need to invest about $585 a month. But if you only save that money in cash, you'd have to put away over $800. This is exactly why investing is the great accelerator. So we've covered the system and the math, but now let's talk about the why. Because $100,000, it isn't just a number on a screen. It's what that number allows you to do. What does this money mean for your rich life? Maybe it's the freedom to finally quit that job you hate. Maybe it's a down payment on a house or a year of travel. Or maybe it's just the deep, profound security of having a safety net that no one can ever take away from you. That is the real goal.
You know, one of the biggest things holding us back is guilt. And it's drilled into us from childhood with phrases just like these. We're taught that spending money is bad or wasteful. But the truth is, you can be incredibly responsible with your money and enjoy your life. A good system is what removes the guilt.
So there you have it. You now have the system to automate your finances, the strategy to find your one big win, and the plan to spend consciously. The only question left is the most important one. So forget about the numbers for a second and just ask yourself, what does your rich life actually look like? Now you have the tools to go build it.